I'm addressing Abraham, and I'm very grateful that I can do that.
Yeah.
I would like to know more about the subject of the veil between where you are and where we are.
Well, it is non-existent except in your perception. And we've been calling it a filter. It's beliefs that don't match your desires that accomplish that sort of filter, because everything's being revealed to you, so there's no veil, but your ability to realize it has to do with what you've got going on vibrationally. So the veil is simply a smoke screen that humans put up by believing things that Source knows otherwise about.
I've had an experience from a teacher, a very dear teacher, who, when she passed at age, very old, at age 94, 96, we kind of made an agreement that she would, if she could, show me somehow that there is this other reality, that there is something beyond the physical that I was in.
But you see, that's an impossible accomplishment in this sense, that if you need to see it to believe it, then you're not in the receptive modes where you can see it. And if you already believe it, then you don't need to see it because you already know it. It's a sort of quandary, isn't it?
Yes. It's actually very interesting because there was a real experiment that we did. And
after she made her transition?
After she made her transition, several years after that. And the experiment involved a totally neutral other person who was doing electronic voice perception. And the end result of this experiment was a message coming through by electronic voice perception, saying, this is not permitted here. I was trying to get a proof, quote unquote, of this other existence. And she said, that proof is not permitted.
But it is. It's permitted. You just weren't permitting it in your need of proof.
That makes sense.
The need for proof puts you in a vibrational place where you can't get through the veil.
Yes.
It's only through belief.
Only
Isn't
through
that
belief.
tricky?
Only through belief. Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. If I may ask another question along the same lines. It often happens, I think, in these circles where we are moving, that we are encountering people who claim that they know something from the other side, that they know something about for example, our past lives. What good does it do to us to know anything about our past lives?
If it was of value, you would have remembered it.
Yeah.
This is what we have to say about that. There are some people that are picking up on energies, and some translations are accurate in this sense. They are translating some vibration from somewhere. Often it's from their own vibration. Sometimes they are picking up something from you, from a belief, but this is always true. One woman said to us, Abraham, I believe that I was abused in past experiences. I've been told that through these past life regressions. And we said, it is unknown whether this reader is actually tapping into your past life or someone else's. But what is always true, there is a vibrational match in your vibration right now that is allowing it. So often it's someone reading something in the active energy right now and then translating it into something that came before, which may feel satisfying in the sense that it gives you sort of a justification for why this is happening to you now, but not helpful. It's just more momentum. So our impertinent line that we always offered is, we don't know if they're getting your past life or somebody else's, but one thing is true, it's accurate to the vibration that you're emanating right now. Or that somebody is. That's the thing that's tricky about that. That's why we're encouraging you to hook up to your own alignment and utilize it. We encouraged Jerry and Esther in the beginning of knowing us to think about their relationship with us in any way they could. We said to them one day, they were in San Diego and they were getting ready to go to a restaurant that they'd never been to. And it was in another part of the city other than where they were staying. And so we suggested to them that they let us just guide them there. Don't look on the map. Don't look up the address. Just hold in your mind where you want to be and we'll take you there. And so we guided. Esther was driving. We went over there and we went over there and we went over there and we went over there. Didn't go on one freeway or one major highway. We took surface roads the whole way and came right in the back alley of the back doorway of the restaurant, because we wanted them to know that we can see their world and that we understand their world, and that what they receive from us is not about some other world, it's about the world in which they are in. We said that to you the other day. You're tapping your toe to music and you think it's your toe tapping. Well, it's someone else letting you know that they hear your music here and now, you see. We're not talking about disco dancing, we're talking about. So,
yes.
Helpful?
Yes.
Does it take you to some further conversation?
I think
good enough?
That's good enough.
Really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't breathed that hard all trip long. Okay, so there's a few parts. One is I've been on the hot seat before about my son. My son left. He stopped living with me when he was 16. I gave him 14 years to come back. And we had some wonderful conversations, and he's 24 now, 25 now. And so he's back home, he moved back in. So that's kind of that's a change in momentum, because it was really going the other way, and now it's going this way. And
so you must have found a way to be all right anyway. You must have been able to have that contrasting experience and mostly stay in alignment. Yeah. That's nice, isn't it?
And it was like I said, I can wait till he's 29 and then I'm going to reevaluate. So it was good, because he's 4 years early. So that's kind of cool. And I just want to celebrate that. Like, I mean, it's so weird. He goes, "Dad, are you hungry? I'll make you dinner." And that was not in the vortex. It was like, just call me from wherever you are once in a while. So this is great. So that's been great.
Yeah.
So that's part one. I've been practicing staying in the vortex 30 days in a row, a month in a row, and it's been very, very good to stay in that, having that awareness.
Did you find that this important thing that you'd wanted for a long time, that you managed to accomplish through your personal, individual, vibrational alignment? Did the manifestation of something that you had aligned with, did the manifestation of it, did it make it easier for you to stay in alignment? In other words, when something happens, finally, but nevertheless, when something happens as you intended it to be,
Of course.
But since it took long enough for it to come, you're not now needing those kinds of things to keep you feeling good. You figured out how to feel good anyway, and now it's easy to stay there.
Yes. It's like a bonus. I get a bonus. Okay, good. All right. So it's been great, and I'm kind of monitor, and just before I was waiting to get the taxi to the airport, and I had like this call that was I almost told the person to get lost and die. And I said, "No, you're going on this trip." So I handled the situation, and then I'm on the phone, ready to put my phone on flight mode, and the same thing manifested. And I said, I was really in alignment, and I said, "It's okay, it's all okay, it's all okay." Put the phone and said, I'm going to Europe. So when I was in my room, and then very similar to the experience with my mother, I was looking in the mirror. And that was like 6 months ago or 8 months ago. And then I was looking in the mirror, and I was so compelled again. And then I could hear subtle whispering thoughts in my head, but they were very quiet, and they were saying little things like, "Oh, is that your mom?" And it wasn't. Should you be, what's going on here? And they were quiet. So it did not disturb the connection I felt with me with me. And it was like, it was very, very soothing to just be in love with myself for a few minutes. And those little thoughts that's okay. Those thoughts were okay.
So what you're talking about is having had the opportunity for momentum to get going in a direction that you didn't want it to, but catching it enough in the early subtle stages that you maintained your balance, and then.
Yeah, and it was like, it was delicious. I was it. I was it. And so this is kind of maybe a step 4 thing, but then after that, like with people I've met before, or people who are Abers, or people who are not Abers, the contrast was the biggest contrast I've ever experienced, like orneriness, accusations, character assassinations, bops in the head. And I'm going, wow, this is like, but what's different is that, like, I can navigate that. Like, it was so easy for that to exist and be done with it. Like, and I don't feel any residue about any of it.
Does it feel to you that you're navigating your own waters regardless of what's going on around you?
Yes.
Do you feel a need for the approval of others or support of others?
Absolutely not. I would be a mushy bowl of spaghetti if I allowed that to happen.
Because?
Because then I would take it as truth, and it's not true.
So you're saying that the only thing that is significant to you is what you know and what you think and how you align?
Yes.
Then you're free.
Yeah, it feels very, very, very,
Yeah.
very free.
Yeah. 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 And without some contrast, you wouldn't really know that, would you?
Yes, yes. It was like, yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah. So I've met, like, everyone here has been wonderful.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Enough? Yeah.